Get ready to unlock the secrets to a truly thriving ponytail palm. You'll discover it's known by several other names, and today I'm showing you how to save this beauty before it's too late. And trust me, when you see what's hiding under that pot, you're gonna be shocked. I'm Nick Federoff, and as the resident garden expert for PBS KLCS TV and the first radio and TV personality ever inducted into the Green Industry Hall of Fame, by the end of this video, you'll know the critical mistakes everyone makes with this plant and the one pruning technique that'll keep it thriving for decades. But first, you need to see what I found when I cracked open the container. And hey, if you want more plant-saving secrets like this, nail that like button and subscribe so you never miss out. I was actually called out here on a landscape consultation for a particular plant, and this is the one right here. Check it out. It is a very unusual kind of plant because it has several names. It's a Beaucarnea, but we don't normally call it that. We usually call it a elephant foot palm because look how gnarly this is right here. Just kind of real crinkly looking like an elephant foot. That's kind of nice. And then if you work your way over here, this kind of looks like a ponytail. So we also call it a ponytail palm. And the interesting part about it, it's not a palm whatsoever. It's more related in the yucca family than anything. And this big bulbous area right here is known to carry a whole lot of moisture. So it's a very drought-resistant kind of plant. It's actually native to western Mexico, right by the Gulf of Mexico there. And here in the United States, and actually all through Europe too, this plant is more of a house plant. You get a little bitty thing like this, you can keep it like that growing for years. It's really kind of cool. But if you take it outside and put it into the ground like an alligator, when you put an alligator outside in a big area, it grows and grows and grows. Well, that right there tells us that it is it's something that grows nice and big. Now, typically, this thing right here only has the one little head up here. But if you have the plant when it's as small like this, and you're going to do something very drastic to it, and that would be to get a knife and chop the top of it and really mutilate it, you can get 2 to 3 heads off of it and then put it in the ground and it'll grow that way. Now this right here, as I mentioned, if you keep it in the container, it stays a little bit on the smaller side. In the ground, we get 15 feet tall. But right here, this is probably around, maybe 8 feet. We have to account for the container itself. Now, what we're going to do here is something that is very necessary, and I'm going to show you why it's necessary. What we're going to do with this right now. See this? It's busting its britches. That's what it's doing. Oh, it's something else. So anyway, so this thing is busting up its container right here. I would assume it's been doing this for quite some time now. So what we're going to do is we're going to help it along and we're going to repot it up. Now the thing of it is that as we end up repotting this thing, we're going to use a different kind of container. We're not going to put in the same kind. We're going to use a container that is actually a little bit on the fatter side and it's squattier. So can you see the size difference there? So it's a little bit taller over here, it's smaller over here, and as you know, we're actually gonna take and we're gonna plant it, and we're gonna put our soil line up to about right here. So let's see what we can do with this. It's already busted up right there, and man, there's a lot of different ways of going about doing this. Let's see what happens if we can cut it by hand. If we can't cut this by hand, then we're gonna need a power tool to help us out over here. So this right here is a saw that is usually used for drywall. Drywall is like a gypsum board material for when you do construction inside of a house you're using in your cutting stuff. So let's cut this up. We could do this because it's a plastic container. There we go. Okay, I'll tell you what, that was kind of tough to do, and I don't feel like putting all my muscle into this. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the heavy artillery out, and we're going to cut it up with a reciprocating saw. But in the meantime, I decided let's put some gloves on. It's always good to work with the gloves anyhow. So here we have two different kind of gloves. We have deerskin gloves and goatskin gloves. These, of course, have seen some nice wear and tear on there, and these are brand new. So I'm gonna christen those someplace else at another time. So we'll put these on. I like, you know, there's all kinds of different types of leather that's out there for gloves. If you use cowhide, it's a real rigid, thick kind of leather. You go with the deer and the goat, it's a softer, supple kind of a leather. There's also pig. I don't do pig, so I don't even wear that. So we're not going to go there. All right, so what we're going to do is let's start cutting this up in little itty bitty pieces and see how easy it is going to take this thing out. Now, I'm not going to worry a whole lot about cutting up the root system, because when I'm going to take it and move it over there, it doesn't matter, because we're going to have to be doing some chopping and dicing and slicing anyhow. Now you're going to have to identify what kind of container that you have. If this was a what do you call it? A porcelain container or a clay container, you'd never be able to do that. You have to get a mallet out and just bust it all up. But this is a plastic one. And hopefully, once I cut it up like this, we'll be able to slice. It'll come out a lot easier. Now, this obviously was not wet. They didn't water this for a while. I said it's a pretty drought-resistant plant. And I am cutting some of the roots, and that's okay. Pretty rugged plant here. All right, let's see if this will bust out. Oh yeah, that's coming out. Look at that, it's beautiful. Beautiful, look at this massive root here. Woo! Now that was something else. Man, look at this thing. It's beautiful, isn't it? But look at this massive root system that's in here. And this technically is not good for your plant, because look how it's curling around. This is a girdling process. So by doing what we're doing over here, we're going to open it up quite a bit, as a matter of fact. In fact, I'm gonna have to take and measure this to see how far we want to take this. So what I'm gonna do, let's get a shovel here. And we know that we want to go, I'm gonna turn it upside down. So that's about the length, because we went from here down to there. So, wow, look at that. If I was to put this exactly the way it is, I think we would be okay. I think we are going to be okay. But instead, I'm going to kind of loosen these roots up first. Now, typically when we're doing this kind of root pruning, the rule is whatever you take off on the bottom, in other words, the roots, you should take off on the top. So what do we got to do here is just remove them like this, and whatever you have on top, that's what you're going to have on the bottom. Now, I don't want to take all this off. It's going to be a real temptation to do so. But We just kind of want to loosen them, air them out. Some of the roots are going to come out. Look at this. Don't worry about that. We're going to loosen it up, and then hopefully what will happen is that these are going to take off. I think that's more than enough to take off. Like I said, it's a plant that likes to be constricted, or could be constricted. So we're going to measure it again. I can go down as far as maybe right here or so. Yeah, about right here. I think that'll be good. So we're going to measure this. Okay, so we're going to go in here. That's about it. Look at that. That's downtown, man. I like that. You remember what this was called? This is called a D-handle shovel. Why? Because it has a handle, and if you look, it looks like the letter D. Isn't that kind of cool? And of course, it's there to use as a handle itself. Okay, so, all right, maybe a little bit more. I like the looseness of it. You got to remember, we sliced down the side over here too, so I don't want to be disturbed too much. Okay, now what I did is I created kind of a custom mix over here, and this mix, I don't want to step on my plant quite yet. This mix is a rich, well-draining soil. It's a super duper good potting mix. And then what I did is I added sand to it. So I'm going to mix all this together, and like I mentioned, this comes over here from, this plant is actually native to the Gulf of Mexico, eastern Mexico. You can find them like crazy in Veracruz. As a matter of fact, they have a ton of garden over there where they have over 400 different types of these plants. At least that's the way I understand it, different types, and they're trying to preserve them for prosperity purposes. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just mix this in very well, or half well, and we're just going to go like this. There is no reason why you have to use the soil mix that you bought the way that it is. You can customize it like this all you want, all day long. You know, if you notice, when I started to rip that thing off, you could tell there's a whole bunch of sand in there. So that mix was a sandy mix. I don't think I would use a straight sand on something like this, because it's just not enough nutrients in there. Not enough to give it a, I mean, I realize it's a drought-resistant plant. And for the record, that fire is really hot. It may be pretty, but it's pretty warm. Okay, so we'll take this. And if it's not super mixed up, it's okay too. But take a couple of minutes just to mix it up like this. And the sand is going to help aerate the soil, keep these soil particles a little further apart from each other. And I think I'm ready to go. So I'm going to put a base down first. Now you think, well, Nick, you measured it and you said not to put it any higher. Well, I want this little base in here because we did do a little bit of damage to those roots. All right, that works out good for me here. So let's put a little base. I'm gonna, I really want a couple of inches. I got a little carried away here, but you know, plants are so forgiving, it's ridiculous. And then some are very temperamental at the same time. Did I already say, yeah, this is not a palm, even though we call it a ponytail palm or elephant foot palm. All right, tell you what, let's get my young assistant over here to help me out. Dude, come on in. I'm not too sure why you're not wearing the Things Green hat. Come over here. But that's all right. You're stronger than I am. Let's pick this up. Okay, get the base. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, there would have been no way. Down, baby, down. Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Woo-wee. Hey, can we see this? Look at this. just another reason why we call it an elephant foot palm. Look at this. Doesn't this look like an elephant's foot right there? Look how gnarly that looks. That is so amazing. Okay, so what we're going to do is, I think this is absolutely perfect. It was originally planted up to here. We can go down to here because we have roots that are up to here, so we don't have to bury this up. So we're just going to take and restack this thing, and then once we have this in, okay, there you go. That kind of looks like it's in the center. What do you think, helper dude? Is that in the center? Yeah, he's giving me the thumbs up. So that's the center right there. So let's take and backfill this. And I'm actually putting this in a flimsier container than it came out of. And I'm all right with that. Containers are actually pretty expensive. Okay, nice. Let's look at this. Can you see the sand that's coming in there? A little too much there, didn't quite mix that very well. Do that. Oh yeah, that's good, that's good. Okay, so before we go much further, let's pack this around. We're gonna pachyderm this around. Elephant foot pack. Okay, pachyderm. Can you believe that? I actually thought that up just this second. If you end up using that, make sure you hashtag things green in your thing. Maybe we should just redub this as the pachyderm palm. So we're packing the soil down. And it's okay to pack it down because it's going to settle anyhow. And you have to remember, we put sand in there, so we're good with this. Now, if this was in the ground, this would get pups on it. Just like you would like on a sago palm where you get pups. They'll usually come at the base of the plant. You can dig them out. You can redo them. Usually after anywhere between, maybe 10 to 15 years in the ground, you will get, you'll actually get little tiny flowers. Those flowers will get seeds on them. You can actually plant those seeds. Oh, here's another way. Did you see what I did here with the D handle? You could take this and you could use it to pack it down. And little seeds you can plant. No problem doing that. Man, I just love doing this. This is so cool. You know, gardening is a great way to get just an amazing workout. You burn so many calories digging and mowing lawns and planting things. And I mean, you can hear my huffing and puffing. Must be good. You know what? It really is. You want to know something? Just to ease Mrs. Things Green, I decided, just for tickles, just for fun, to go get a stress test done. I mean, I raised 3 boys. I should have a stress test done. Anyway, in the stress test, they call me up. They say, dude, your heart is perfect. That's what I tried to tell Mrs. Things Green, but she has a different opinion on that. And says, you're absolutely clear. There's no problems. So I think it's important for you to get tests. But in the meantime, you can get, who can't choose to lose a few pounds, right? But this right here, gardening, will help you with that whole process. So look what we did here. Isn't this beautiful? I'm going to leave just a little bit extra here. I said I wanted it a little bit lower, but I think I have enough lip here that'll be able to create a reservoir for this. This is going to be just so uber awesome. Okay, now, these palms have a little bit of a haircut issue because they're called ponytail palms. And what we want to do is get yourself a pair of scissors. Now, these are actually bonsai scissors. Use these for trimming up bonsai. You can use any kind of scissors. Kids, if you're going to be using your mother's scissors for sewing, be careful. You might get in trouble for that. But you can tell right here that you have these ends here are dying back. Okay? So the pruning on here is very simple. You can just take and pull them out like this if you want. Let's get another shot of that. That was kind of cool. It's just way in the back here. In fact, I have some browned out ones. This is the kind of pruning that really does all you need. You do maybe want to wear gloves for a situation like this. You see the wasp? Okay. So that's all you have to do to prune it. But you can also take and you can prune these ends up like this, because it's just not attractive to have all those loose ends like this. You know, you could always call me, send me email. You know, another thing I like doing, I like coming to people's houses for landscape consultations. You could always call our producers, talk to them about what it would take to film at your property and at your house. Now, I'm not in the landscaping business any longer, so so don't go calling me for that. But what you call a garden communicator. In fact, I'm probably one of, if not the only garden communicator in the United States that used to have an actual gardening crew. I had 60 people who worked with me. Of course, I was a little bit younger then. Doesn't that look a whole lot nicer? Look at that. Doesn't that look prettier, Serena? Doesn't that look prettier? Yeah. Look at, so we have this like this. This thing is just going to keep on growing up. We're going to water this. Remember, feeding it only a couple of times a year. Doesn't take a whole lot of water. Allow it to fill up, drain up, saturate it. You know, this is actually something you can actually keep on the drier side. And boy, it's just going to be a 100% much more beautiful and prettier plant for you. We're talking about the ponytail palm, also called the elephant foot palm. It is not a palm. It's in the yucca family. I think we discussed all this already. So I just want to make sure that you have that down for you. If it grows in the ground, this base will get as big as this container, if not bigger. It'll get huge. It'll get up to 20 feet tall. In here, oh, I would say it's going to get another, maybe 4 or 5 feet tall in its day. This will probably stay in this container solid another 10 years. I have no problems with that. And I guess we'll come back in 10 years and see if I got a container that's bigger than this, or we'll take and we'll put it in the ground. So there you have it.